Time to do another live Q&A. Hey everybody, it's Chris, and this is the final live Q&A to sort of wrap up the Square One program, and this is a Q&A for prevention. So last night I did the cancer patient Q&A. It's still on my Facebook page, and tonight we're doing the prevention Q&A. If you have cancer, it's still okay to ask questions, that's fine, but I wanted to kind of make last night's special just for patients. So today, or tonight, I should say, as really more of an Ask Me Anything. So anything you want to ask me, I might answer, but I might not. So we'll see. If I like the question, I'll answer it. Or if I feel like I can give you a good answer, I'll answer it. And also, if I answered it last night, I will refer you to last night's video because I want to try to focus on new questions versus answering the same ones, if that makes sense. Couple things. One, you guys know, maybe you don't, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm just a guy who's been through cancer and spent the last 13 years of my life reading and researching and living and learning how to be healthy and stay well and watching other people heal their cancers too. And so I'm just going to share what I believe is true with you. So if you want medical advice, don't ask me because that's not what you're getting from me. All right, so let's start with the questions. Oh, one more housekeeping thing. Look, if some of you have not bought the Square One program yet, maybe you're on the fence about it, it's 50% off right now until tomorrow night. Okay, that's it. And then we're turning in all the orders to be printed and shipped. So you'll never get it cheaper than you can right now. If you buy it next week, it's regular price. So this is not just a one-time course. This course has existed and it will continue to exist. It's not going away, but the price is going back to normal. So anyway, it's 50% off right now because we did this big online launch and the free screening and all that, and we're going to do a one big batch order, which is cheaper. So you've got 6 months to buy it, to use it, to get in our private support group, to get on the private live Q&A calls, to go through it and just really change your life. So I just want to encourage you, go for it. Like there was a link above my face, there'll be one below the video or whatever. Just go get the course. Dive in. You got 6 months. If you don't just love it in every way, if it doesn't help you change your life, if you don't see amazing results in your health, not just for cancer, I mean, just, you know, we've got people with getting off all kinds of medications, diabetes, heart disease, weight loss. Yes, amazing cancer healing stories, testimonials are coming in. I mean, just wonderful stuff happens when you change your life and you get in harmony with nature. Okay? It's not quackery, it's not miracle cures, it's not lotions and potions, it's getting in harmony with nature, right? It's totally transforming your life, your diet, exercise, stress, everything. So some of you have been watching and you've seen a lot of the modules, so you know what it's about. But if you missed them all or you only saw one or two, that's the quickest explanation I can give you. Okay, so let's get to the questions. And again, forgive me, people are posting questions on my Facebook page instead of in the thread, and it interrupts me, and I have to like swipe them to get them to go away. So you'll probably see me doing this, reaching up a lot. Okay, so let me scroll back up to the top. First person that joined is my friend Debbie Hirsch. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Thank you for watching. You're on last night too. That's awesome. Okay, Shannon says, you said it takes 2 years to heal yourself completely. What should your diet consist of after the 90 days of juicing and raw food? Do you still juice 64 ounces every day? And what do you eat as your maintenance diet? So I actually cover this in detail in Square One Module 4, which is the Anti-Cancer Diet Part 2. I talk about in great detail my dietary journey, but I can summarize it very quickly. I recommend 90 days raw because I think it's awesome for most people, and some people just continue it and do amazing. I had a high metabolism, so I needed to add more cooked food back in, and so that's what I did. I added a lot more cooked food back into my diet just because I needed more calories. I don't still drink 64 ounces of juice every day. I drink about 16 ounces of juice on average per day now. So it could be like a carrot, beet, apple kind of juice, or it could be more of a green juice with leafy greens and lemon and cucumber and stuff like that. So kind of alternate, you know, either like a carrot, beet, apple juice or more of a greens juice. Okay, next question. Mark Andre. Oils. In the nutrition module, you seem to frown on oils. Are they all bad? Cold pressed? What if they help me ingest my 2 daily giant salads? So a little bit of oils is okay, but generally speaking, we eat way too many oils. The American diet, the Western diet, is loaded with oils, and oils are a processed food. So you're much better off. I'm not against fat, okay? I think animal fat is unhealthy, but not against whole food fat. I'm not against nuts and seeds and avocados and olives. They're wonderful, but oils are processed, right? So you're better off eating the whole food. Now, having said that, yes, a tablespoon of flax or olive oil on the salad is totally fine. Yes, it can help you with the taste if you enjoy the taste and the texture and you like oiliness, but also it can help you absorb fat-soluble nutrients that are in leafy green vegetables. So it's okay. Just keep it to a minimal on your salads. You'll be fine. All right. Hello, Chris. Is cooking food, does cooked food make your body acidic? The answer is no, it does not. And I used to believe it did. Okay, so very early in my cancer journey, early 2004, when I got into the raw food diet, I read some information that was saying that cooked food was acidic and raw food was alkaline, and it's kind of just false. It's just not really true, okay? So cooked food is fine. Cooked vegetables are wonderful, and you know what? When you cook vegetables, it actually increases the absorption of certain nutrients in those vegetables. So for example, cooked tomatoes have something like 15 times more absorbable lycopene. It may not be 15, it's a lot more, okay? That's just one example. So my best advice is to eat a variety of raw and cooked vegetables. Very simple. Cooking does not destroy the nutritional value of vegetables, unlike what some people might tell you. It does not. Absolutely does not destroy the nutritional value. You can reduce the nutritional value of some vitamins, namely water-soluble vitamins, by about 15% when you cook them. But the thing is, when you cook, let's say broccoli or spinach, it reduces, and so you end up eating more of it. So there's no net loss. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're going to eat more, because if you've ever cooked spinach, you know, you can get a big bag of spinach, it's like this big. And then when you cook it down, it's like this big, right? So anyway, enjoy cooked vegetables. They're not making you acidic. They're wonderful. Raw and cooked is great. I spent too much time answering that question. I'm sorry. Okay. If I can't stand garlic in my daily juices, what's the second best way to ingest it? Try black garlic. Black garlic is amazing. It's actually aged for 30 days, I believe. Maybe it's 60 days. And it's black, and it's sweet. You won't believe how amazing black garlic is. And they've done, I've seen several really amazing studies on black garlic, and some of the anti-cancer compounds in garlic explode when it's aged. So black garlic we're thinking now, is maybe even more potent and more powerful than regular garlic. So I can buy black garlic at Whole Foods. They have it in the produce section. So try black garlic. It's soft and chewy, and it's sweet and delicious, and it's nothing like the spicy raw garlic that you may not like, okay? So that's tip number one. Tip number two is just chop it into little tiny bits and swallow it like pills, right? Just chop it in little pills, put it in your mouth, swig of water, down the hatch. That's the other way to get it in your body if you don't want to juice it or chew it up. Okay, Mary Beth says, I have a brain tumor and I've had seizures lately, have not, and don't want to risk a brain biopsy. Is this the only way to find out if I have cancer? Yeah, a biopsy, and I answered this last night too. A biopsy is the only real true way to determine if what you have is cancer. If you don't want to have a biopsy, it's your life, it's your choice, okay? I suggest you treat it like cancer, okay? So, I mean, I don't know what your opinion is on doing conventional therapy or alternative or whatever, you're doing, but the point is, like, let's just say you're like, I don't want to do conventional therapy, I just want to go hardcore with nutrition. Well, that's fine, but you need to go hardcore. and treat it like it is cancer, right? Because the worst case scenario is it is, right? And you need to help yourself. Best case scenario, it isn't, and it's not as serious of a threat. Yeah, that's the best I can tell you. If you don't want to have it biopsied, it's your choice. Like no one has to have a scan. You don't have to have any tests ever if you don't want to. Okay, it's your life. Doctors like to give tests. They like to take biopsies. That's how they make money. Okay, and yes, if they care about you, they do want to know what's going on in your body. I don't want to demonize doctors, but the point is, listen. If you don't want to get a biopsy, just assume the worst and treat it like it's cancer. Okay. Joanne says, I love my red wine. Is 1 glass per day okay? Well, wine is linked, alcohol consumption is linked to increased risk of cancer in men and women, and more than a glass a day for women increases risk. I think 1 glass per day actually even increases risk. So, now, we know the healthiest populations around the world, a lot of them do consume wine. But if you want to stay on the low risk side, I would have less than a glass a day, okay? If you just don't, if you're not trying to heal cancer. If you're trying to heal cancer, I would not drink any wine. I wouldn't drink any alcohol. If you just want to be healthy and you're making lots of radical changes to your life, but you do want to enjoy the occasional glass of wine, I would limit it to maybe a few a week versus 1 a day. Okay. Holly, good question. Okay, Holly says, hi, I have a gene mutation predisposing me to pancreatic cancer and breast cancer. I'm 39. What do you recommend I do for diet, etc.? I recommend you do the Square One program. Perfect, right? The perfect solution, radical life change. The Square One is what will give you the evidence-based information to take dramatic diet and lifestyle steps to change your diet and lifestyle, right? To reduce your risk. Now, I can't promise you'll never get cancer, but I can show you these studies and say, hey, look, this is what we know. This diet and these lifestyle habits and stress reduction and all these things have been proven, not by me, by scientists and researchers and doctors, to reduce cancer risk and increase survival. So that's in Square One. So I think you should go all the way with it if you're concerned. Now, here's the other thing. Here's the thing about genetics, okay? Genetics can make people paranoid. And the truth about genetics is your genes do not determine your fate. I'm going to say that again. Your genes do not determine your fate. Your diet and lifestyle choices determine your fate, okay? Your choices determine your fate, right? So yes, if your mother had breast cancer and you have the same breast cancer gene and you live the same way your mother lived, you eat the same standard American diet loaded with fast food, processed food, and meat and dairy that your mother ate, then yeah, you can expect to get the same diseases your mother got, okay? But if you eat a diet that's radically different, that's modeled after the healthiest people around the world with the lowest rates of cancer, then your outcome should be very different. You should expect a very different outcome, okay? So there's a field of science called epigenetics, and epigenetics is all about the study of gene expression. And what we know now is that our choices affect whether or not genes express themselves. So one easy example that I talk about in the exercise module is that exercise turns off cancer-promoting genes, and it turns on cancer-protective genes, right? And that's the same thing with fruits and vegetables. They do the same thing in your body. So, yeah, there you go. Kristen says, if someone already has a very healthy lifestyle and then gets cancer, is it less likely they will be able to overcome it? No, not at all. Not at all. I think we've misunderstood what a healthy lifestyle is, right? Because you didn't define it specifically. I'm just going to have to give it my own definition. But when we look at someone who goes to the gym, right? Maybe they run, they go to the gym, maybe they're a healthy weight, and we look at them and they look fit and they look healthy. Therefore, we assume they live a healthy lifestyle. Okay? So then it's that person gets cancer, like, I can't believe they got cancer. They were so healthy, right? But the truth is, they weren't healthy on the inside, okay? They were eating, for most of their life, probably eating lots of meat and dairy, and maybe a fair amount of processed food and junk food, and maybe too much alcohol, okay? And on the outside, they may have looked fine, but on the inside, they were had a lot of inflammation for years, right? Inflammation leads to cancer, prolonged inflammation. So your diet and lifestyle choices promote inflammation, or they decrease inflammation. So the person everybody thought was healthy, they got cancer. A lot of times, if someone shows me this healthy person and I start digging into their life, I realize this person wasn't healthy at all, right? And by the way, health and fitness are not mutually exclusive, okay? So you can be super fit and also unhealthy. You can be strong, you can be a marathon runner and be super unhealthy, okay? Fitness is only a result, fitness is a byproduct of conditioning, right? Of training and conditioning. That is how you get fit, right? Doesn't mean you're in optimal health on the inside. It just means metabolically you are trained to endure, right? Swimming 1,000 meters, right? Or running a marathon. One of the most famous runners in the world, the father of jogging, Jim Fixx, died of a heart attack very young. I think he was in his 50s. He ate whatever he wanted, and he assumed, because he ran every day for miles and miles, that he could eat whatever he wanted. And he had a heart attack. So you'll see a lot of people in the health and fitness community have heart attacks, get cancer, and the main reason, it's not, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. That's what I'm getting at, okay? So diet comes first, and then exercise helps. Certainly if you have a bad diet, exercise is helping you. It's not hurting you unless you're just killing yourself running marathons every day or every week. But generally speaking, most people who are quote-unquote healthy that got cancer weren't really healthy, because cancer cannot thrive in a healthy body. It needs a sick, inflamed, permissible terrain to thrive. Okay, next question. Jolene says, is there a way to get rid of radiation from having CT scans and other sources? No. So radiation doesn't really stay in your body. So you can't really get rid of it. I mean, you're exposed to it and then it's whatever. The body repairs and regenerates. So massive amounts of antioxidants in fruits and vegetables is the best thing you can do for yourself, right? You just putting in all these wonderful phytonutrients, putting them in your body every day, and starting that snowball effect of healing, of repair and regeneration. And that's the best you can do, right? To heal from radiation or chemo damage or heal after surgery. You just give your body all the raw materials it needs to repair and let it do its thing. Okay. Ellen says, I have osteoporosis. A diet high in fiber causes malabsorption of calcium. What do you suggest? I don't think that's true. So osteoporosis typically is not because you're short on calcium. It's typically because you have not been stressing your bones. Okay? So one of the most powerful methods of reversing osteoporosis is lifting heavy weight. Because when you lift heavy weight, you send signals to your brain to reinforce your bones, okay? You've heard the expression, use it or lose it. If you, as we get older and become more sedentary, we are not doing physical work. Physical work strains our muscles and bones, and that sends signals to our brain to reinforce our muscles and bones, okay? So it's not the diet that's causing osteoporosis. It's not the lack of calcium that's causing osteoporosis. And taking calcium is terrible. Don't take calcium. I mean, that's going to calcify and harden your arteries. Don't do that. You can get all the calcium you need from fruits and vegetables, but it's not going to do much good if your body is not actively trying to reinforce your bones. So lifting heavy weight. So I suggest you find a gym, find a personal trainer that can help you with safe, heavy weight lifting. There is a company called Osteostrong. It's a franchise, and they're not in every city, but you can look them up. They actually have developed a machine that is specifically for reversing osteoporosis. And it's a machine where you exert maximum effort for 5 seconds. So there's like, and it's completely safe too. And so there's a leg press, there's a bench press type thing, there's a curl, and then there's like a deadlift, all in this one machine. And it's like a $25,000 machine. It's amazing. One day I'll make a video about it. I know the guy that runs one here, but and I've done it many times. But they have studies proving they've reversed osteoporosis just by having people use this machine that really forces them to put out maximum effort for 5 seconds, and that sends signals to reinforce their bones. Okay, does that make sense to y'all? Yeah? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Angry face? Okay. Hi, which brand? It's always funny to me when like sometimes angry faces come across. I'm like, what did I say that made people angry? Just like, I don't know, you know. Anyway, there's some thumbs up. Yay, somebody just make an angry face just for fun. All right. Let's see. I'm still waiting on the angry faces. Thumbs up and hearts are nice, but you know. All right. Aparna says, hi, which brand of air purifier do you recommend? And which brand of Amla Moringa do you recommend? Yeah. So I'll start with Amla. Oh, there's some angry faces. See, that question made some people really angry. No. So Amla and Moringa, I just rotate brands. So I go on Amazon and I buy organic, right? Organic Amla, organic Moringa. There's a brand called Organic Veda. There's a brand of Amla that I'm taking right now called Terra Sol. But again, I just rotate brands because I don't know most of these brands. I don't know who they are. And I haven't sent it to a lab to independently verify if it doesn't have any contaminants or whatever. So what I do is what I call supplement hedging, right? And supplement hedging is rotating brands, okay? You can buy 2 brands and take one every other day, okay? Or you can just rotate every month when you run out. That's what I do, okay? I just switch up brands. So just go for organic. The second question is, what brand of air purifier? I have this amazing air purifier that I love so much. And I got it this year, and it took forever to get it. I pre-ordered it because it's a pretty new product. And it is called, oh my gosh. I can't think of the name of it. I would have to run downstairs and look at it. Oh my gosh, I'm totally drawing a blank. I'm sorry. I'll post a link to it or something. I cannot think of the name of this thing. All right, I'll come back to it. Okay. Joanne says, I have breast cancer mets in my liver. Are any of the square one protocols or coffee enemas too much for the affected liver to handle? Well, that is hard to say. Fruits and vegetables are not hard on your liver. So I can tell you absolutely, positively, the diet is not going to hurt your liver, okay? Fruits and vegetables are wonderful. Now, coffee enemas are supposed to help detoxify the liver. So theoretically, they should be helpful. They should help your liver, not hurt it. And then as far as supplements go, that's a little hard to say because, everything you ingest has to be processed by your liver. And some supplements, if it's a whole food supplement, like let's say Amla or Moringa, which I was just talking about, that's a whole food from the earth. So it should be fine. But if it's an isolated supplement, then it might require more energy, more processing from your liver. And yeah, maybe it could be problematic, okay? So that's a tough question to answer. So I'm just trying to do my best just to give you a kind of perspective. If you want to stay on the safe side, then you might want to stay away from isolated supplements or even, alternative treatments. And just focus on nutrition and diet and exercise and prayer and stress reduction and there's so much you can do, right? And just avoid the things that like, man, I'm not so sure about that. Maybe that's kind of iffy. Just focus on the things you know are safe. Okay. Liliana says, hi, Chris, are your kids following a, and that's all it says. Maybe she's asking about my kids' diet. So I can talk about that. So I have two girls, and they're 12 and 9, and I did not impose my diet on them, but we they basically have to eat what we feed them because they live in my house. So one of them just loves fruit. She's basically a fruitarian. I mean, the kid is a lot like me. She just loves fruit. She loves carbohydrates, loves fruit, and that's really what she wants to eat a lot of the time, and that's great. I'm happy about it. The other one is more attracted to meat and junk food, unfortunately, which is more like me when I was a kid. So one's like me now, the other one's like me as a kid. And so, but you know, we don't buy meat and junk food. So if we're out, yes, and she wants to get some, you know, I don't know, hamburger or something, then occasionally, yes, we'll let her get something like that. But we're not like health food Nazis with our kids because, yeah, we feed them super healthy at home. We send them super healthy lunches to school. And so those occasional things they eat at a friend's house or when we're out to eat somewhere, we just don't worry about those things, right? Because we just know that their diet's like 95% healthy or even more. And so the occasional treat is totally okay with us. So we don't want them to grow up like resenting health food and like, you know, having this weird psychology about like, my parents would never let me eat anything. They always forced me to eat, you know, asparagus, like instead of ice cream or something. I don't know. But yeah, the main thing is, you know, we don't stock our cupboard full of junk food, you know, so they can't go grab a Coke. There aren't any. We don't have Cokes in our house. So anyway, it's a lot easier to, you know, kids when they're hungry, they're going to eat. And if there's no junk food to eat, they're going to eat the healthy food you put in front of them. Okay. Carissa says, do you take every supplement you suggested to us, that was in Module 9, even now that you're cancer-free? I do, but I don't take every one of those every day. So I cycle through supplements. And my basic sort of go-to everyday supplements, vitamin D, year-round. 10,000 international units a day for me, year-round. I like to take beta-glucans every day. I like to take Bosmeric, which is a curcumin supplement, every day. And those are kind of like my three that I just, you know, I'm always taking those. I take B12 occasionally. And then I'll take black seed oil sometimes. I take moringa and amla every day. I take, which I don't consider a supplement since it's a whole food product, but I did talk about it in the supplement module. I love to take aloe almost every day. Sometimes I run out and I order it from aloe1.com. So, you know, sometimes I run out and, you know, there's a few days or a week or I forget to order and I don't have any. But I love to take that every day and I put it in a smoothie. 8 ounces I put in a smoothie. And there's others in there that, you know, like I don't take Essiac tea every day. I don't drink Jason Winter's tea every day. You know, some of those just, you know, some of them I get on a kick and I'll take it for a while. Like I just was on a chlorella kick and I ordered some chlorella and, you know, took the whole bottle over the course of a month and along with spirulina. So I was just kind of doing a little detox with chlorella and spirulina, but I won't take those every day for, you know, the next 12 months. I'll, you know, chill out and maybe take them again in a few months or 6 months or something. So does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Let's see. Susan asked me to prioritize the supplements that I would do first, and I just kind of did. You know, vitamin D, absolutely. Curcumin, yes. Beta-glucans, definitely. Amla, moringa, love them so much. Aloe vera, like those are really the top supplements for me. And B12, most people need B12. Most people, even meat eaters. You know, a lot of meat eaters would be like, yeah, I mean, you know, you can't even you don't even get B12. That's why you got to eat meat. Most meat eaters are deficient in B12 too. Okay. Do you like my meat eater impression? Yeah, I'm a meat eater. I talk like this. It's stupid. I don't know why I did that. Okay. That was more of like a meathead impression. Okay. Like, hey, you doing biceps? You doing curls today or what? All right. Elizabeth says, what's your opinion on one's body's pH and cancer? Oh, great question. I'm so glad you asked that. Do you recommend staying away from all things acidic, drinking alkaline water, testing your pH, etc.? So this is a good one, folks. Pay attention here. There was a period of time, I mentioned this earlier, where I got very obsessive about pH. And I thought I had to eat an alkaline diet and that cancer cannot thrive in an alkaline environment. That was my impression of like a health, you know, like a nerdy health person. And that's not true. Okay, that's just false. So don't worry about alkalinity. Don't worry about acidity. What we need to worry about is nutrition. pumping in nutrition into your body, okay? Don't worry about the pH of your saliva or your urine. It's always changing. And frankly, you want to be peeing out acid. You don't want to be peeing alkaline. And the pH of your urine is totally different than the pH of your blood. So your body has to maintain, almost every organ and tissue is a different pH in your body. Did you know that? So your stomach is super acidic. Your small intestine is less acidic. Your colon is even less acidic than that. The reason your stomach's so acidic is because that acid kills a lot of bacteria and parasites and pathogens before they can get into your intestinal tract to be absorbed and cause problems, okay? So, but then your blood is more alkaline way more than your stomach. It's almost neutral. So, you can't manipulate your body's pH. Like, don't drink alkaline water. You don't need it. I don't think you need to take baking soda or try to alkalize yourself, because you can actually cause alkalosis and make yourself sick. What happens when you stop eating meat and dairy and junk food, those are acid-forming foods. So they do produce excess acid in your body, like uric acid from meat, which leads to gout and is very hard on the kidneys. So that's why, meat eaters often have kidney disease. So later in life, and while the dialysis industry is bigger than ever, right? How many people are on freaking dialysis? It's crazy. And you can reverse kidney disease when you just stop eating meat and dairy. Just eat fruits and vegetables, people. Mostly fruit. So I'm on a tangent. So don't worry about acid and alkaline. Just the thing is, when you remove the acid-forming foods, then your body doesn't have to work so hard to constantly neutralize the acidity. If you take too much alkaline, like if you drink baking soda, your body has to work to neutralize it. It's like, what the heck? What is this crap? Like, produce more acid to balance it out. Or if you eat a bunch of acid-forming foods, your body has to produce, excrete more alkaline minerals, maybe leach them from your bones or whatever to neutralize that acid. So what you want to do, we need a diet that's rich in fruits and vegetables. You don't have an over-alkaline problem. You don't have an over-acid problem. You just have a health problem. You got a healthy problem, which is not a problem. Okay. And I was very paranoid. Yes, I was spitting on spitting on the test strips. I was peeing on them. I'm looking at them, like getting frustrated. I mean, I was on the perfect, like the most alkaline diet in the world, 100% raw, drinking fresh vegetable juices all day, on juice fasting, like doing all this stuff. And like, I couldn't get alkaline. And I got really frustrated. And finally, I was like, forget it. I don't understand this. It isn't working for me. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's what I think you should do. Okay. Jill said, what about protein? That's a very short question, but I think I understand what you're saying. The question is, which I get all the time, where do you get your protein? And the answer is, I'm going to answer it with another question. Where does a gorilla get his or her protein? You guys know the answer? From plants. The gorilla, the biggest animal in the jungle, gets their protein from plant. How is that possible? Because all plant food contains amino acids, and your body uses amino acids to build protein. Where does a cow get protein? From grass. Where does a horse get protein? From oats and grass and carrots, right? Most of the biggest animals in the world are plant eaters. And even though you say, well, I'm not a horse or a hippopotamus, that's true, okay? But you're genetically, you're not that far off actually from a chimpanzee or a gorilla or a bonobo or an orangutan. So your teeth, you don't have canine teeth. You don't have the teeth of a meat-eating animal, right? Meat-eating animals have giant teeth to rip other animals apart and eat them, right? You don't have those. You have tiny, tiny little canines. Like, you can't kill anything with your teeth. Forget it. You have, and carnivorous animals, they don't have lateral moving jaws. Their jaws don't move side to side, right? Because they don't chew. We're designed to chew plant food. They are designed to rip and tear and swallow meat whole raw. That's what a carnivore does. So Carnivores are dogs and cats, obviously, and lots of other animals in the world are carnivores. But the point is, herbivores and frugitivores eat plant food. They eat fruit, and they eat vegetables, and they eat leafy greens. And what you'll find, I've had blood work done every year for years, my protein levels are always perfect. They're never low, never been deficient, and I just eat plants. I eat beans and rice and potatoes and all the fruit I want, and of course, green leafies and broccoli and kale and cauliflower. I mean, just, all the wonderful stuff. And I've never had a protein deficiency. There's one other protein myth, and that has been, it's been propagated for years, but it actually has been scientifically dispelled, but it has not made its way into the general population, is that you don't need a complete protein, okay? You don't have to eat like beans and rice together to get a complete protein at your meal, right? Whatever you eat throughout the day, your body takes the amino acids that you've eaten in breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it assembles proteins, okay? So you'll always have enough if you're eating a variety of plant food. It's pretty simple, okay. I mean, there's guys that have gone on all potato diets, like for months. One guy, I think, did it for an entire year. I think that's right. You can Google it. Entire year, just potatoes. What? How can you live? His blood work got super healthy. He lost weight. It was just great for the guy. Just ate potatoes. So yeah, I think you can Google potato diet or man eats potatoes for a year or whatever, and you'll see. So we've been conditioned by the food industry and by the supplement industry that we're deficient in a lot of things, right? That we need to do all this stuff. And the truth is, you can get everything you need from a potato, pretty much, for a year, okay? So less is more, simple is fine, you're not going to be protein deficient. Okay. Victoria says, how do I balance post-gastric sleeve diet, high protein, low fat, and sugar with psoriasis problems? Afraid that psoriasis meds depress the immune system. Okay, this is complicated. Now remember, I'm not a doctor. So you have a gastric sleeve to lose weight, and they've got you in a high protein, low fat diet, which is a terrible, horrible diet. Now, if you have psoriasis, it's aggravated by your diet right now. Your diet is aggravating psoriasis. Animal protein and fat, meat and dairy, and eggs, anything from an animal, promote inflammation in the body. Remove those things from your diet. Eat all fruits and vegetables. Don't be afraid of carbohydrates. Don't be afraid of potatoes, okay? Don't eat French fries, but whole potatoes are wonderful, right? Baked potatoes are wonderful. Yams, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, purple potatoes. Don't be afraid of whole food carbohydrates. Don't be afraid of beans. Don't be afraid of rice. Don't be afraid of fruit. Eat those foods. They're so wonderful for you. And by the way, they will fill you up. If you have a gastric sleeve, I mean, your stomach's tiny. Those foods are going to fill you up pretty quick. You're not going to be able to eat very much of them anyway. The problem with bariatric surgery or a sleeve or whatever is, yeah, it restricts your ability to eat, but they've done a disservice to you because it has not changed your eating habits, the habits that led to being overweight, okay? But you can turn that around very easily, and that's by eating a diet that's a plant-based diet, tons of fruits and vegetables, as much as you want, stuff yourself. You don't have to be hungry, right? If you eat the right food, you can eat as much of it as you want. That's the beauty of plant food, of fruits and vegetables. You can eat as much as you want and not get fat. I mean, this is true for 99% of the population. So I think it's probably going to be true for you too. Okay. Eva says, sorry, interruption there. How is it with children and cancer prevention? Is dairy, fish, and chicken not recommended? What about organic yogurt and kefir? Yeah, generally speaking, our kids and us eat way too many animal products. We know that teenagers already have signs of heart disease as teenagers because they're eating so much meat and dairy. Okay, heart disease starts in your teens. It can even start younger than that. So, yeah, you know, we don't. Yes, our kids are not vegan, and I'm not a vegan either. Okay, I eat meat like, you know, maybe once a month. I have a serving of meat, and our kids are, you know, they're not vegan either, right? So, but the majority of the meals that we feed them do not contain animal products, do not contain animal food. And I think that's the healthiest way to raise a kid, is to get them tons of plant food and very little animal food. Okay. When I say very little, like, a few times a week is really tops for any person. A few times a week. A few times a week to a few times a month. When we're talking about any type of meat, dairy, fish, eggs, chicken, whatever. Pamela says, from Eva in Norway, when I make water kefir, will there be any sugar left? Is it okay to drink some every day? Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of sugar left when you make kefir. Well, no, maybe not. It just depends on how long, at some point, yes, it should actually use up all the sugar. I don't know how long that takes. I'm not an expert on making kefir. I've never made my own kefir. So, there are kefir experts on Google and out there probably with their own blogs about making kefir that you should ask. But I feel like kefir's fine. Water kefir definitely better than dairy kefir. I talked about this last night in the cancer patient Q&A, but as far as fermented foods go, apple cider vinegar is amazing. Sauerkraut's fantastic. Kombucha is wonderful. And then eating lots of starches and fiber. All of those things are the best foods for a healthy digestive tract and a healthy population of bacteria in your digestive tract. Oops, sorry, my hand got in the way. All right, scrolling up. Susan says, I have intense cravings for carbs, especially bread, potatoes, and pasta. Are any of these acceptable? Must I avoid all bread or just wheat bread? So you crave carbs because carbs are awesome and your body loves them and they're good. But you need to choose whole food carbs, okay? So I would not eat bread, okay? I would, if you eat bread, I would only eat sprouted whole grain bread, like Ezekiel bread. I would not eat white bread. Even wheat bread, if it's made from flour, is better than white for sure. 100% whole grain wheat bread is better than white bread, but it's still made from flour and it does go into your bloodstream very quickly, kind of like sugar. Potatoes are wonderful. A potato is a whole food. People have demonized potatoes because they're white, right? But potatoes are great. So don't, eat whole food carbohydrates. They will make you happy. You'll feel good. You'll be full. Rice, beans, corn, potatoes, squash, right? Quinoa, lentils, chickpeas, split peas, black-eyed peas. Those are wonderful foods from the earth. Eat them, okay? But I would avoid the pasta and I'd avoid bread, okay? Occasionally, yes, occasionally a whole grain pasta is okay. Occasionally whole grain bread is okay. But even if you're going to eat bread daily, I would only eat organic, sprouted, whole grain bread like Ezekiel bread. Is there any benefit to this diet if I do it part way? For example, eat cooked instead of raw, skip the detox, eat fewer than 10 veggie servings a day. Look, there's always a benefit to eating more fruits and vegetables. Always, okay? 10 servings a day is optimal scientifically. We know there's a definite difference in the impact that 10 servings of fruits and vegetables has per day on your body when compared to less, okay? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you should shoot for 10, definitely. And if you're eating a plant-based diet, if you're eating 3 meals a day, you're going to get 10 servings. So that's not too hard. Cooked instead of raw is fine. That's not a problem. Why don't you try to have a salad, once a day? There you go. That's a raw meal. Or you could have a salad. You could have a smoothie for breakfast. That's raw. You could have a salad for lunch. That's raw. And you have a cooked dinner. That's great. Okay. Or you could have, again, 1 raw meal a day. Salad for lunch. Or you could have fresh fruit for for breakfast, and a salad for lunch. That's 2 raw meals a day and a cooked dinner. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can mix it up. And then whether or not you do the detoxification stuff, that's up to you too. But the more you can do, the better, right? If I didn't think it was important, I wouldn't have talked about it in square one. Jasmine says, "Hi, what do you think about quinoa when dieting?" I think quinoa is great anytime. So I'm not actually crazy about the taste of quinoa. Nutritionally, it is wonderful. Quinoa is kind of a boring. There's something about the flavor of quinoa, just like it's so bland. But when it's mixed with rice or on top of a salad or something like that, and then it kind of just blends in with something else, then yeah, that's great. That's why I prefer to have it mixed in with beans or rice. My wife will do this thing she makes with black beans and sweet potatoes and quinoa all together. That's really good. But yeah, quinoa is fine. How do I recommend incorporating raw and whole food to kids? I have kids ages 10 to 14. Okay, so your kids don't have to be raw foodists, right? So I wouldn't try to like force that on them. What I would do is I would, again, just start making big healthy meals, right? With lots of variety of cooked veggies. Kids love, look, most kids love rice and beans and potatoes. Most kids love starches. Most kids like green beans. So all kids are different, and figure out which veggies your kids like and just serve them those things. But yeah, they don't have to be raw foodists. It's fine. But try making them smoothies for breakfast. Try making them oatmeal for breakfast, right? Probably going to like that. Throw some berries in there, some raisins or blueberries. Put a little molasses or some honey in there. It's totally fine for them. You got to just kind of work with them and figure out, hey, do you like this? Try this, But the thing is, at some point you may have to say, they're like, well, we want Lucky Charms, Mom. You're like, sorry, I'm not buying those anymore. You're getting oatmeal for breakfast, right? This is what you get. Or you can have a smoothie, right? You got two choices. That'll make you oatmeal or a smoothie, or you can have, a big bowl of fresh fruit, right? Just give them a few options and then let them pick one. And then, it's like, look, these are your options. Sorry, I'm buying the food, I'm making the meals. That's what's on the menu. Pick one. And we kind of do the same thing at our house. So it's a process. There's going to be some complaining and some whining, at first, and then eventually they're going to be like, okay, and they will develop tastes for healthy food. So at first, supposedly it takes like 7 tries before you develop a taste for something. So you just keep encouraging them to try new things. Even if you don't force them to eat something they hate. That's never good. But always encourage them to try something new. And if they like it, great, they'll just keep eating. And if they don't like it, just say, well, great, thanks for trying it, right? And we used to call it when our kids were little, the thank you bite. Your kids are not little either, but you may still have to incorporate this a little bit. Like, you know what, I know you probably think you don't like this, you don't like the way it looks, you don't like the texture or something, but I want you to try it. And they try it, like, what'd you think? I hate it. Okay, that's fine, you don't have to eat it. But you're gonna have to try it again next time I make it. And so on. All right. So this question is from Dana. Did you have pain during detox? Is cancer detox similar to Lyme Herxheimer? Did you use binders? Love talking to you about Dr. Morse. Okay, I did not have pain during detox, but some people do. Everyone reacts differently to detoxification. And it depends on how, toxic you are. So some people can get really sick and throwing up, diarrhea, run a fever, breaking out in hives, pimples, headaches. Some people can have really just pretty unpleasant detoxification, right? I did not use binder. Well, I did the Incurables program, so there is some binders in there, like activated charcoal and psyllium seed and some other stuff like that in Dr. Schultz's program. So yeah, I did use a little bit of that when I did the Incurables. Which you guys can find at herbdoc.com. But I don't know if it's similar to Lyme. I don't know, because I've never had Lyme. Hopefully I never do. Okay. How much time do we have? Man, time flies. Okay, 12 minutes. Here we go. I'll try to answer these quickly. Jenica says, I had ovarian cancer at 28. What should I do for my daughters as prevention? They're 2 and 6 years old. Feed them tons of fruits and vegetables, and stay away from meat and dairy. Very little meat and dairy, okay? Tons of fruits and vegetables. That is the best thing you can do for them. Next. Are coconut flour and tapioca flour okay? They're okay, but I never was eating anything that required flour personally. Like I was just eating, I wasn't baking and making stuff. Like I was just eating whole foods, like giant salads, juicing smoothies, fresh fruit, right? Cooked veggies. So flour indicates that you're like trying to bake or make some kind of concoction in the kitchen. And I don't think, I just don't think it's necessary. Okay. So, maybe every once in a while, if there's some kind of recipe and you want to make something different, but it was neither one of those things were ever in my diet. And they're really not in there now. Okay. For prevention other than vitamin D, which you said was the #1 anti-cancer vitamin, it is. What is the #1 supplement you suggest to add to an already healthy diet? Well, I kind of talked about this, beta-glucan or maybe the bosmeric, which is curcumin. I take them both every day along with vitamin D. I mean, they're just really great. Beta-glucan's for immune support. Curcumin has so many wonderful effects in the body. It's an anti-inflammatory. It has anti-cancer effects. Bosmeric's the brand I like a lot because I know the formulator, Dr. Sunil Pai, and it has curcumin, frankincense, ginger, and black pepper in it. So those would be my two, actually. All right. What do we got? Colleen says, have you found chemo in the past makes the healing process slower or more difficult? Yeah, it does. I mean, it's very destructive, okay? It does a lot of damage to the body, and it's toxic. It does. Chemotherapy drugs cause head-to-toe damage, collateral damage. So brain damage, hearing loss, heart damage, lung damage, damage to your liver, your kidneys, your digestive tract, your bone marrow, right? Immune system. It causes damage to your nervous system, peripheral neuropathy, losing feeling in your fingers and toes, hands and feet if it gets really severe. So it causes just head-to-toe damage. And that takes a lot of energy for your body to repair all of this damage in your body, right? It's not just like one injury, it's like injuring the whole system. Every cell in your body, right, is potentially injured by chemotherapy. So that does make the healing process slower, and it can present special challenges, and it can make it more difficult, okay? But having said that, I know some of you are on chemo, and listen, I don't want to discourage you. I just want to say, I know people who have healed cancer with nutrition after chemotherapy failed, okay? So they went through all of it, the cancer got worse, and they still were able to heal. So, does it make it slower, more difficult? Yes. But does it make it impossible? No. Jan says, hi, if I purchase Square One now, will I automatically get updates in the future if there are any? Yes. Yep. Absolutely. You'll get updates. Anytime there's a new version of the program, updated version, updated videos, anything, yes, you get access to it for life. Okay. How long should we fast for cancer prevention? Great question. So a 3 to 5 day fast, water fast, or even calorie restriction. But water fasting is just kind of an easy one because you just don't have to count calories at all. You just 3 to 5 days on water is wonderful, and doing that a few times a year is amazing. So doing that 3 months in a row, once a year, or doing it once every quarter is amazing. That doesn't mean you can just go pig out on junk food and fast food and smoke cigarettes and smoke crack and shoot up heroin. But I fast 3 times a year, right? So it does need to be a part of an overall healthy diet and lifestyle that you are practicing. But yeah, fasting is amazing. But yeah, just like I said, 3 to 5 days on water is very powerful. It resets, recharges your immune system. Your body goes into protection mode and repair and regeneration mode after the fast, ramps up production of new immune stem cells. So amazing things happen when you fast. And could not say more. I mean, I could talk about it for a long time, but just believe me when I say it is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. And it costs you nothing. So, There's lots of people out there trying to sell you stuff all the time, and I'm actually trying to sell you my course because I think it's amazing and it'll help you. But even if you don't buy my course, fasting is the best thing you can do for yourself. All right. Laura says, what about eggs? You often refer to meat and dairy, but I haven't heard much regarding eggs. So when I say animal products, I'm talking about eggs too. Meat, dairy, eggs, anything from an animal. You really don't need these foods. You just don't. I mean, if you want to eat them occasionally, a few times a week, a few times a month, it's okay. But 3 times a day eating animals is insane. I said this last night. The latest statistic I heard is that we're killing 1 million animals an hour in the United States because of our ridiculous, gluttonous appetite for meat products. Now, obviously, eggs, you don't have to kill an animal for an egg, but you get what I'm saying, right? Why are we eating so many animals? It's insane. So, and the factory farming is just awful and cruel, and it's just bad all the way around. So, I'm not an animal rights activist, but look, I'm just a human, and I'm looking at this and going, this is terrible. Why? It's unnecessary. So, eating tons of plant food is wonderful for you, and of course, when you look at the rates of obesity, the rates of cancer, the rates of heart disease, the rates of diabetes, the countries that eat the most animals have the highest rates of all those diseases. They're Western diseases. And yes, eating processed food and fast food and junk food contribute too. But guess what? Most fast food is animal food, right? Fast food restaurants, what's everybody getting? They're getting the burgers and the chicken sandwiches, right? So it's part of the problem. I mean, those two kind of go hand in hand, right? And of course, they're getting cheeseburgers and they're getting milkshakes, right? They're getting dairy in pretty much every fast food meal as well. So, but eggs on occasion are okay. They're okay, but the healthiest populations around the world are not pure vegan. Yes, they eat a little animal food. Yes, they eat little eggs here and there, right? They just don't eat this excessive, ridiculous amount that we eat in Western nations. And they have much lower rates of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, right? Parkinson's, all these Western diseases that we suffer from. So, if you care about prevention, then cut way back on the animal food. And you won't miss it. You really won't. Most of us are addicted to animal food, but when you break that addiction, which just takes a couple weeks, then you're just like, man, I don't even have a desire for meat, So, but like I said earlier, I have meat once a month. Every once in a while, I have a little craving for some, and I have some. And it's a little bit of a hedging too, just in case maybe there's some little something in there that I'm not getting from plants, which scientifically has not been proven yet, but whatever, maybe I'll get a little bit every once in a while. Okay, if I eat a piece of salmon or something. Okay. All right, we're getting close to the end. Still a few minutes though. Okay. Jenny says, thank you for sharing your journey. I've made the radical changes and I've been at it for a week. You are awesome. Well, you are awesome because it takes determination, commitment, and willpower to change your life. So I just want to congratulate you, Jenny, for doing this because and I'm excited. I'm just excited for you to report back in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days of what all has happened in your life and in your health. Okay, Spring says, day 7, eating only veggies, as you outlined, no caffeine or sugar either. I started feeling off, a little nausea and dizzy, and a cold coming on. Could this be detoxification? Yes, could be, absolutely. Or it could just be a cold, right, that you picked up from somewhere, right? I don't know, can't say for sure, but it's not unusual. And detoxification doesn't automatically happen right away. Your body detoxifies and heals in phases. So there will be phases where you feel great, and then all of a sudden, there's a switch that's flipped, and all of a sudden you're like, bam, whoa, what is happening? Man, my energy, and then you run a fever, you feel bad, you get sick. So your body is doing stuff that we don't even understand, right? It's working stuff out, and as you lose weight and detoxify, your body stores toxins in fat, okay? So and in organs, other parts of your body too. But if you're overweight and you start losing weight, those toxins are released when your body burns through fat, and they have to be processed by your liver, and they can make you feel bad, and they can even cause maybe some temporary immunosuppression and make you more susceptible to getting a cold or having some kind of flare-up. So all kinds of weird stuff happen in the healing journey. Just push through, okay? Just push through. Don't give up. What you're doing is super healthy. It's super good for you, okay? And also when you cut out caffeine and sugar and meat and dairy, you know, a lot of people have withdrawal symptoms from those things. Just like withdrawal from cigarettes. They have withdrawal from junk food, fast food, sugar, fat, meat, and dairy, okay? So it's just normal. All that stuff is normal. Feeling bad when you start eating healthy is normal at first. But then you start feeling really great and you realize, okay, I'm never going back. Okay. Raw tomatoes or cooked tomatoes, which is better? Both. They're both great. Eat them raw and eat them cooked. Okay. Just alternate, right? If you're in the mood for raw, eat it raw. And then if you're going to make in a little cooked stuff, cook some tomatoes. I've got time for like one more. I'm trying to find a good one. Okay, this is pretty good. Michelle says, what type of diet do you recommend for prevention of cancer? Is there a difference for preventing versus healing? No, there's no difference, actually. The prevention diet is the same as the healing diet, except the healing diet's a little more hardcore, okay? So the prevention diet is 95% plant-based. You don't have to be a vegan, but you just need to focus on eating tons of fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole grains, right? Food from the earth. Rice, beans, corn, potatoes, squash, all the fruit you want. Yes, giant salads, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, onions, mushrooms, all that stuff, right? Barley, quinoa, millet, spelt, teff, right? Just like all this wonderful stuff that God made for us, grows out of the ground, like eat that. And then, yeah, the other 5% can be, sure, right? Have a serving of beef or a serving of chicken or salmon or some eggs every once in a while. It's okay, right? It's okay. I'm not an ethical vegan. I don't think you should, it's unethical or immoral to eat an animal, okay? To kill and eat an animal. And I'll say that because if it was unethical to kill or immoral to kill and eat an animal, then you're pronouncing judgment on some of the poorest people, starving people in the world that literally have no choice but to kill and eat a rat, right? Like these starving kids in the slums of India, right? That are killing and eating rats to survive. So you're judging them if you think what they're doing is unethical or immoral. And that's crazy, right? It's crazy. And I can tell you, if I was starving and I had no choice but to kill and eat an animal, I would do it just to survive, right? So, you know, you didn't even ask that question, but I'm just throwing it out there because, you know, it's a pet peeve and it comes up constantly. And there's nothing unethical about just the pure act of killing and eating an animal to survive, okay? But yeah, factory farming's terrible, and yes, that's just awful. But anyway, but if you have cancer, the thing is, I would go 100% plant-based, okay? And I talk about this in Square One because even a small amount of animal food can promote the growth and spread of cancer in your body once you have it. So that's really the difference, okay? The prevention diet, you have leeway, you have some room to, yes, okay, go out and get an ice cream cone every once in a while with the kids, you know, enjoy your life. But if you're trying to heal, you got to go hardcore for a while, you know, for 2 years, like hardcore, like no exceptions. And then once you get well, then you have freedom to enjoy things, you know. So it's not forever, it's just for now. I say that a lot. Just hardcore for now, not forever. But again, the prevention diet is modeled after the healthiest, longest living people around the world. It's not just, I didn't just like come up with some random arbitrary, like 95% sounds good. No, I mean, this is on every continent over and over and over. If you read the book, The Blue Zones, which is fantastic. I interviewed Dan Buettner, the author, National Geographic Fellow. This is a National Geographic project. I talk about it in Square One. But yeah, I mean, they've just learned, whoa, the healthiest people around the world, the longest living people, with the highest percentage of people living past 100. These regions are called the Blue Zones. And when they investigate their diet and lifestyle, they realize, oh, wow, yeah, they're all eating a diet that's 95% plant-based. So on average. Some a little more, some are closer to 100%, like 98, and some are a little less, like maybe closer to 90%. But that's like the sweet spot. That's where you want to be as far as diet goes. So you don't have to be a purist for prevention. You don't have to just like have like, I can never ever eat an ice cream cone again or I'll get cancer mentality, because that will probably make you crazy. You may have to be committed to an insane asylum after a while if you like trap yourself in this like impossible set of rules that you can never ever break, or you've failed or something. So that's not good for your mental health, and that's why I don't really endorse. I try to stay away from putting those kind of like shackles on people and dietary rules and food fear on people. But I'm rambling a little bit, but hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. It's just coming out of my heart. It's my passion, and hopefully it makes sense to you. The difference between prevention diet, 95% plant-based, obviously whole food, plant-based, like organic, yes, all those things. And then if you're trying to heal, like go 100%. Okay, that's it for this one. Just over an hour here. Thanks, everybody. I'm sorry I couldn't get to every question. Last night we had 1,500 questions posted. I mean, like, I don't even know how long it would take me to answer 1,500. I'm not sure how many I just answered. It might have been 30 or 50. I don't even know. Probably closer to 30, I guess. But anyway, appreciate you all so much. Listen, if you're still on the fence about Square One, you got 6 months. 6 months. You can get it at 50% off right now. Click the link above and below. Just go get the digital and download it all, or you can get the physical and have the books. Here they are. You can have the books, the transcripts book, 10 chapters, all the modules. There's an index in the back. You can look up everything I talk about, whether bladder cancer, collard greens, colloidal silver, leukemia, mercury, like anything you want to look up. I mean, it'll take you straight to where I talk about it in the course. So fully indexed transcript book with also a scientific reference section in the back. So you can look up the studies and read those, the studies that are referenced. The guidebook, which is, look, the guidebook has the daily schedule. It's got the recipe guide. It's got the supplement guide. It's got the healthy home guide. So with a comprehensive list of all the products you can replace in your house with clean, non-toxic brands. It has excerpts from my prayer journal from 2004 and 5. And the 20 questions for your oncologist is in here. And my cancer clinic Rolodex, clinics that I know and trust if you decide to go to a clinic. So that's all in the guidebook. And it's spiral bound for your convenience. And I'm reaching to the floor, and the DVD set. All 10 videos on DVD. This is totally turning into an infomercial. But that's what you get. That's the Square One program. If you get it, it's 50% off till tomorrow night. And look, if you don't love it in every way, then send it back. You got 6 months. Plus you get in our private support group. You get on the private live Q&A calls. We do 6 of those coming in the next 6 months. And you get a free digital copy to give to someone else. So it's 2 for 1. So I'm like, come on, how can I make it any better? Anyway, hope you all jump on that. There's, again, link up here, down there, whatever. Go do it. Thanks for watching. And I will this will stay on Facebook. So, and I'll post it on YouTube too for other folks that don't have Facebook. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It's been awesome. I'll see you soon.